Now you are all familiar with this man, Columbia University professor Rashid Khalidi. Now the Los Angeles Times is still refusing to release a videotape of Senator Obama at a party for Khalidi, at which several offensive things were allegedly said. Mr. Khalidi rejected our request for an interview, but with 5 days left before the election and there being so many unanswered questions about this story, well, we took our cameras to find him, and find him we did.
Professor Khalidi? Hi, Griff Jenkins with Fox. Can I ask you a quick question?
You cannot ask me.
Could you just tell me, what's your relationship with Senator Obama? So we can clarify it, sir? I apologize for interrupting, but you become the centerpiece of the election. Will you at least call for the LA Times to release the video?
Excuse us, please.
What was said? What was said at that speech? Will you talk to us?
I will not talk to you.
Were you the spokesman for the PLO? Will you confirm that? Okay.
Pablo, get these guys.
You're at the center of the election, sir. Just some quick clarifications and we'll leave. Okay.
Yes, Arafat's former spokesman a little quiet there. So why is it every time we find one of these associates of Barack Obama, they run away and refuse to say anything? Why do they all seem to look so guilty? But that's not the only tape we obtained today of Mr. Khalidi. Now take a look at this speech. He gave this speech in 1998, and he is discussing how American foreign policy gets corrupted by domestic politics. But the example that he uses, that's what caught our attention.
The second thing to keep in mind about American foreign policy is that it is largely determined by domestic considerations almost all the time. There are many other things that go into it, but domestic considerations are always extremely important. And these are often quite mundane. Indeed, these are sometimes appallingly crass interests. They are the kind of things that move domestic politics in Chicago. Money, votes, corruption, bribery, influence peddling, backdoor deals, the kind of things that Cook County, the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, the politics on the local level work through and because of. The kind of you scratch my back and I scratch yours kind of khosh-bosh type of dealing, which when it's talked about in the Middle East is considered revolting and degrading and third world corruption, is actually what oils American politics. If you don't know this, you're not living in the United States.
Now, anybody know any politicians from Chicago? Now, Khalidi makes it sound like corruption is just part of life in Windy City politics. Now, good thing Senator Obama doesn't know anyone, let's see, like Tony Resco? But that's not all. In just a few minutes, we're going to reveal some shocking and potentially explosive details about the unrepentant terrorist Bill Ayers. We have just confirmed, you see this book here today, and you won't believe what we're going to show you and who this book by Bill Ayers and Bernardine Dorn was dedicated to. That's coming up. But joining us first tonight with more on these stories is former Democratic pollster Pat Goodell, columnist Ann Coulter. You know, here's a guy, and the LA Times, there is a tape that he's praising this man, former, terrorist spokesman for Yasser Arafat. We know that he, viewed the creation of Israel as a disaster.
Right.
And anti-Semitic things were said at this event, and Barack Obama praised Khalidi.
Right.
So, but of
right.
course nobody cares.
Even what little they reported about the event, it is shocking that a presidential candidate of a major party would be there. You have Ayers and Dorn again, of course. You have this Khalidi. You have Obama, who's apparently constantly having dinner with the Khalidis.
Yeah, they eat dinner frequently. They were frequent dinner companions.
And you have also now, questions about who paid his Harvard tuition. And people don't even know about this story. We have yet another, the father of the Black Panthers and another Muslim has apparently paid Obama's tuition, according to, his name is Percy Sutton, a big, right, civil rights activist here in New York. That's what he said.
We reported that. We played that tape on Hannity's America.
We got
nobody
Ayers,
else in the media has.
We got Jeremiah Wright, and now we have to have Griff Jenkins chasing down Khalidi here. Where is the rest of the media?
Pat, I don't want to say anything, but we first interviewed, Reverend Wright in March of '87. We've followed the Bill Ayers story. Wait till you hear, because I know who you admire, Pat. I know your Democratic roots. When you hear who this book is dedicated to, you are not going to be happy. Now, here's the question. Why are so many people in this country willing to just not pay attention to these radical associations?
Well, look, I don't know about associations. I think some of them are spurious. I think others, deserve questions. But here's the point. You're running for president of the United States. I want to say this about the LA Times story. It appeared in April. obviously you would think logic might dictate that maybe it was given over by somebody who was a supporter of Clinton's because it was in the primaries. But here's the point. All right, let's assume for a moment that they claim that they had an agreement with their source not to release the tape. Why not the transcript? In 2006, they had a tape of Arnold Schwarzenegger was talking about a hot Latina legislator. Now, the LA Times was given that. They didn't release the tape, but they released a full transcript. Where is the full transcript? They leave people believing that either there's something wrong in there that they don't want to do, which they claim is not the case, or that there's something problematic with their reporting.
They wrote an article in April, and they were fully, it was not a pro-Obama article. It talked about this dinner where he praised this guy, Khalili, and it was not exactly favorable to Obama. The LA Times broke the story. If they didn't want to reveal anything, they would have done the story.
Nothing you're saying. Well, the point is, why don't you just release the transcript? That'd be the end of this.
Transcript of what? The dinner?
The tape that they have.
Oh, the tape. All right. Well, you know, because they probably have promised the source.
That's crazy.
Not do that.
No,
that's crazy.
Let me ask you this.
And there was another breaking development tonight concerning the unrepentant terrorist Bill Ayers. Now, Hannity and Combs has, in fact, obtained a copy of this book. It is written by Bill Ayers and his wife, Bernadine Dohrn, in 1974. It's called Prairie Fire, The Politics of Revolutionary Anti-Imperialism. Now, this book proved very difficult to obtain. Even the New York City Public Library, one of the largest libraries in the world, could not provide us with a copy of this book. Now, the book reads like a manifesto of the Weather Underground, but the most shocking thing is on the dedication page. Mr. Ayers and his band of terrorists devote the book to, quote, all political prisoners in the U.S., and the book then lists about 100 or so names. Among the names they list, a U.S. political prisoner, Sirhan Sirhan. That's right. This college professor, who was just a guy from the neighborhood, who never meant to hurt anybody, who bombed the Pentagon, the Capitol, New York City police headquarters, dedicated his book to the man who assassinated Robert F. Kennedy. So how can the same Democrats who are making a million excuses for Ayers and Obama be okay with this? And there is a new development tonight surrounding the Columbia University professor Rashid Khalidi. Now, thanks to the Committee for Accuracy in Middle East Reporting in America, Hannity and Combs has obtained a 1991 article that Khalidi wrote in the Middle East Report. It is an obituary of sorts for this man named Abu Iyad, otherwise known as Salah Khalaf. Now, Khalaf was a member of the PLO, but he's also been implicated as a member of Black September, the group that orchestrated the terrorist attack at the 1972 Munich Olympics, which resulted in the murder of 11 Israeli athletes. Black September has also been blamed for a 1973 attack in the Sudan that killed 2 U.S. embassy officials. In the obituary written by Khalidi, he makes no mention of Black September or any role that Khalaf in any sort, that he's a terrorist and this was a terrorist attack, and instead praises him as, quote, somebody who will be sorely missed by the Palestinian people to whom he has devoted his life.